In a rare gesture of cooperation, India and Pakistan exchanged prisoners at the Wagah border on Monday. The exchange involved Mohammadullah of the Pakistan Rangers and Indian Border Security Force Constable Purnam Kumar Shah. Shah had reportedly crossed into Pakistan's Kaisar district on April 23 and was in custody of the Pakistan Rangers since then. State broadcaster PTV News reported the return of Mohammadullah to Pakistani officials, while Indian media confirmed that Shah was handed over peacefully under established protocols. The exchange was seen as a sign of adherence to cross-border agreements despite ongoing diplomatic tensions. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has applauded the armed forces for their exceptional bravery and professionalism during Operation Bunyanam Marsoos, according to PTV News. The Premier visited Pashur cantonment in Sialkot alongside key federal ministers and the chiefs of Pakistan's Army and Air Force. Speaking during the visit, PM Shehbaz hailed the military's rapid and precise action in defending the country against what he termed India's unprovoked aggression. He credited the nation's unity and the forces' readiness for delivering a decisive response within hours. The valiant armed forces, fortified by the nation's resolve, defended the motherland in a heroic manner, he said, adding that history would remember the operation as a defining moment of courage and discipline.
लेकिन आज आपने न सिर्फ इस अफवाज पाकिस्तान का 24 करोड़ आवाम का न सिर्फ आपने सर फख्र से बुलंद किया है, बल्कि दुनिया में हमारे जो दुश्मन हैं, मुखालिफ हैं, उनके आपने आज उनके होश ठिकाने आ गए हैं, और जो दोस्त हैं उनके आज हौसले आसमानों से बातें कर रहे हैं। ये वो अचीवमेंट मैं समझता हूं कि आदमी कोई किताबों में, ख्वाबों में सोच सकता था। इट इज कॉल्ड अनथिंकेबल विक्ट्री, और ये अल्लाह ताला ने मेरी नजर में, उसको आप किसी और तरीके से ले सकते हैं, ऑल्दो इन अ डिफरेंट कॉन्टेक्स्ट, लेकिन 1971 की जंग में हिंदुस्तान से आपने इस जंग में बदला ले लिया और पूरी दुनिया को बताया कि पाकिस्तान की फौज एक जरी फौज है और इसको दुनिया की कोई ताकत, खुदा न खास्ता और शिकस्त तो दूर की बात है, उसका बाद भी नहीं उसका कर सकती।
Pakistan has received $1.023 billion from the International Monetary Fund as the second tranche under the Extended Fund Facility, EFF, the State Bank of Pakistan confirmed. The amount will reflect in the country's foreign reserves by May 16. The disbursement follows the IMF's recent approval, which also included a $1. The IMF noted significant progress in Pakistan's reform agenda, citing a primary budget surplus of 2% of GDP in the first half of FY25 and a record low inflation rate of 0.3% in April. The state bank has slashed the policy rate by 1,100 basis points since June 2025. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif welcomed the development, stating that India's attempts to derail Pakistan's economic progress had failed. A special court in Islamabad has directed Adiala jail authorities to allow PTI founder Imran Khan a phone call with his sons abroad and access to a medical checkup by his personal physician. The court rejected a petition filed by prison officials seeking to overturn earlier rulings, stating there was no solid legal basis to deny these rights. Judge Shahrukh Arjumand upheld his previous orders issued in January and February, emphasizing that they were made after considering all relevant factors. The court instructed jail officials to comply in letter and spirit, and adjourned the hearing to next Wednesday. The decision comes a day after Imran's sons, Suleiman and Qasim, publicly appealed for improved contact with their father, saying they speak to him only once every few months due to limited and poorly timed calls. Imran Khan has been in custody since August 2023 in the £190 million corruption case and faces multiple pending trials. The Russia-Ukraine conflict continues to evolve rapidly across diplomatic, economic, and military fronts. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has challenged Vladimir Putin to attend peace talks scheduled in Istanbul on Thursday, saying he would only participate if the Russian leader shows up in person. He is scared of direct talks with me, Zelensky said, pushing for an unconditional 30-day ceasefire as a step toward ending the war. The Kremlin has not confirmed Putin's attendance. The talks are part of a renewed U.S. diplomatic effort led by President Donald Trump, who is sending Secretary of State Marco Rubio and senior envoys Steve Witkoff and 𝐾𝐶. Trump has also offered to attend himself. Meanwhile, Russian President Putin has received an invitation to visit Iran, though no date has been set. The Kremlin emphasized the strategic importance of its ties with Tehran, following a 20-year partnership deal signed earlier this year. In Europe, diplomatic tensions flared after French President Emmanuel Macron said France was open to stationing nuclear-armed aircraft in allied countries. Moscow condemned the remarks as destabilizing, warning such moves would worsen Europe's already fragile security environment. On the economic front, the EU adopted a 17th sanctions package targeting over 200 Shadow Fleet tankers, 30 dual-use goods firms, and 75 individuals tied to Russia's war effort. Despite continued Russian airstrikes, 3 civilians were killed Tuesday in Ukraine's Kharkiv region. Both Kyiv and Moscow are under pressure to show willingness for peace. Zelensky warned that failure to hold talks could prompt stronger EU and US sanctions. As the war enters its 4th year, the coming days in Istanbul could mark a pivotal moment, or another missed opportunity, in the pursuit of a ceasefire. Canada's new Foreign Minister Anita Anand on Wednesday condemned Israel's use of food as a political tool in Gaza, stating that it was simply unacceptable amid worsening humanitarian conditions. Addressing reporters ahead of a cabinet meeting, she underscored Canada's call for a ceasefire and reiterated support for a two-state solution. Israel, which resumed its military campaign after a truce collapsed, has denied using famine as a tactic and blamed Hamas for diverting aid. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu fired back at international criticism, accusing French President Emmanuel Macron on X of standing with Hamas after Macron labeled Israel's actions shameful. This exchange took place as the death toll in Gaza surpassed 52,900, according to local health officials, with the enclave teetering on the edge of famine. On Wednesday alone, Israeli airstrikes reportedly killed at least 70 Palestinians, many in Jabalia in northern Gaza. Civil defense teams struggled to reach victims buried beneath rubble. In a separate incident, Israel claimed to have targeted a Hamas command bunker under Khan Yunis European Hospital, although Hamas has not confirmed this. U.S. President Donald Trump, currently touring Gulf countries, is pushing for de-escalation. Although Hamas freed the last known living American hostage this week, the group warned that ongoing Israeli assaults could derail ceasefire efforts. In related developments, Israel issued evacuation alerts at 3 Yemeni ports, accusing the Iran-backed Houthis of launching a missile during Trump's regional tour. The Houthis, who support the Palestinians, have been attacking Israeli targets and shipping routes. Although Trump reached a ceasefire deal with the Houthis via Oman, the agreement does not extend to Israel. As Israel continues its retaliatory airstrikes on Houthi infrastructure, the broader regional conflict threatens to expand.